Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Welcome back to the show. Jennifer Bouchard joining us here today. If you haven't heard of her, well, you definitely will today. Nanny Poppins Agency, maybe you've heard that, probably, because really their work they've done nationwide is pretty amazing. She's helping so many in both aspects, right? From full service domestic staffing. Nannies and so much more. Not just that anymore, because she really has been committed since 1995 to helping people on both sides, right? Finding the jobs and, of course, offering the jobs. So she really does amazing with her placement agency. So, first and foremost, welcome to the show. How are you again?
I'm great, Jillian. How are you today?
I'm well, excited to have you back here. And again, it's nannypoppinsagency.com. Would you mind just telling us a little bit about the agency and what it is you all do?
So, the Nanny Poppins Agency, which I founded in 1995 when I was 23 years old, almost 30 years ago, actually on October 27th, it'll be 29 years. So, I founded the agency in New England, placing nannies, hence the name, the Nanny Poppins. And then in about 2007, we branched out nationwide, first started with the tri state area. And then went out all over the country. And now we're helping families and individuals all over the country find anything from newborn care specialist to a nanny to a chef to an assistant to an estate manager to housekeepers, which are huge right now. Everybody needs housekeepers, household managers, even barn managers, property managers, full household staffing. So whatever you need, a personal assistant, an executive assistant. I mean, everyone is so busy right now. And for me, my example of today, very hectic being a single mom, with two boys, getting them off to school. I actually just caved and hired my own chef.
Wow. Oh my goodness. Now,
Like
how?
I was trying like so many people do to actually like do this on my own. My kids are young teenagers now. My 13-year-old is in, the schools are very close by. I live in Marblehead, Mass. They can get to the middle school. My son can get to the middle school. He can walk in 8 minutes. And my 14-year-old, he has an electric bike. I don't know if you've seen any of these out of New York. But
Yeah.
they're like, I actually bought him one, which I'm sort of regretting because I didn't realize he has like a motorcycle helmet to drive the thing, but they're legal. So he drives that to school in like 4 minutes. But it's just so hectic. And I was like trying to do it with myself with just like the weekly cleaners that will help with a little bit of laundry. But it's too much running a business, trying to keep the house in order and like really wanting to enjoy your free time like with your family is hard. So I found a chef that will do part time, and she came over this morning. I met with her, and she does have a culinary degree from, I think, Cambridge School of Culinary Arts, and she actually lives right in my hometown right now. And
Ah,
so she's going to do like meal prep for me, and she's going to do it in the house, and she's going to take. And this is the great thing about having a chef. Like people think that maybe it's like so expensive, and sometimes it is. I mean, if they're doing full time and
yeah.
doing fancy, extravagant meals for a high net worth family, who entertains a lot, then, it can get very expensive. But for me, with my small family of three, she's going to be coming over, taking stock of everything we have in the house, what I need, helping make sure I have all the right pans and containers. And she's going to be like talking to the kids and I about what kind of meals. And then she's going to actually make them healthy so that they'll taste good and the kids will actually eat them. Because it's like so bad. Like, so you feel guilty as a mom and maybe
Yeah.
a dad as well, if you're not like sitting down and cooking a home cooked meal
Oh
every
my,
night.
well, I don't. My kids right now still like chicken fingers, French fries, pizza, the basics. I can't get them off of that stuff, which also is a great idea to have a chef who can introduce new things. Are your kids picky eaters or?
Well, one of them is very limited on what he'll eat, and the other one is like he wants the fanciest thing on the menu. So like my goal for her, her name is Glee Mullen. My goal for her is actually to like make the delicious chicken parm, but make it healthy. And just to get all the different ingredients in there, flavorful and colorful and things that they're going to want to eat, but that I don't have the time. I
Time. Who
just
has the time?
don't. And she
No.
definitely has the skill. And so, like for families, like this type of even a cook, like she happens to have a culinary degree. I got really lucky. with the agency able to find her. But if someone doesn't require that, like housekeepers do cooking, some of
Mm-hmm.
the nannies will just change the job title to a family assistant, and then they'll help, with errands and cooking and meal prep. And household managers can do it too. It's just, about putting that, like finding out for other people like what their needs are, and then finding the appropriate job title, in the domestic staffing world, and then finding their best fit. And like one thing that I always am impressing upon my team, and at first people they always look at me like I'm crazy when they start to work with us recruitment, but it's like, I want to find out about the candidate's personal life. I want to find out about what they like, their interests, their hobbies, what they do in their free time, just as much as we want to find out about their professional certifications, their skills, their background, their experience, their education, their academics, and all. Because the families, it's very important for them to have a chemistry match. So you have to have like the common interests, and they have to click and get
Yeah.
along. And like it's very important, whether it's a newborn care specialist or even just a personal assistant. You have to, if they're working in your home, you want to be comfortable having them there.
Wow.
So when we're making placements, it's very important for us to know the lifestyle of the family and of the candidate, so that we can make those chemistry matches as much as we can the technical matches.
Amazing. Now, wow. So you really are full service. I know you started out in the nanny world, right? Which you still do, but tell me more. So, chefs, what other positions are you helping people fill and helping families with?
Pardon me. So the newborn care specialists, they're certified individuals that go through training programs, and also postpartum doulas. And then, so we're starting with that. And then you could go up to the nanny. And then we started with the housekeepers. Housekeepers, like if you read, like I think they're in the Wall Street Journal about how much housekeepers recently are a huge need, and how their salaries are going, anywhere from in the $30 an hour range up to $150,000 a year for people with like multiple homes and more extravagant lifestyles. Then household managers, which is someone that's not doing the cleaning technically, but they're coming in and they're making sure that the house runs smoothly,
Yeah.
that everything is organized, that all the errands are done, whatever the family needs done to manage the home, meeting vendors, like if they're redoing their kitchen and somebody's got to measure something, or they have to get quotes for the family. So like they are doing a lot of different, using different resources depending on
Yeah.
the family. But we've also placed barn managers on huge properties that are into like equestrian style stuff. And then, we do have families that have fully staffed homes where they have to, some of the candidates go through FBI checks prior
Yeah.
to getting in. So it really just depends on the need of the family. But the most common requests are the newborn care, the nannies, and then we also help with elder care, and then people that have special needs children or even
Yeah.
adolescents. They may have a 20-year-old child with autism or CP, something, but they're living at home. And so they want to have an extra set of hands that comes in and kind of gives them, the family, some respite so that they can help, and also like a role model for their child. So it's anywhere from special needs and also like elder care. So it could be any type of companion. Someone could travel. You could have a travel nanny. So all the way up to estate managers, which and butlers that manage like entire estates.
Wow. Well, and the need for this is ever growing and ever changing, and you're expanding, right? Because now you're serving how wide of an area at this point? Besides, is it nationwide? Is it worldwide yet, or just
So it's
nationwide? Am I
nationwide. I
okay?
mean, I've been getting approached lately, though, by people that are looking to have me help them get people from other countries. And that's not really my wheelhouse at this point. That's more of a cultural exchange. And even when you place a live-in nanny, you have like certain ethical and sometimes legal things that you have to take into account. Like if I'm placing someone across state line, then I have to make sure, even though I don't have an employment relationship with the person,
Mm-hmm.
that if something doesn't work out, that I would literally get them a ticket and a place to stay if needed.
Got it.
So it is a lot of responsibility that we're taking on, but we really take pride in getting to know people very well and in getting, appropriate, very detailed reference checks, talking to people on the phone, verifying who they are. And then
Yeah.
the only thing we outsource are the criminal and driving record checks because we need a licensed and accredited background checking agency that can check them in everywhere in the country.
Now, one thing I also want to point out that in the event there is maybe it's not a good fit after a while for any of the positions, this is why it's great to have an agency, right? Because they can come back to you and you will handle that and you can help them find somebody else, right? I'm sure that's happened before. Sometimes people clash, things differentiate. Could you share some of that as well?
Yeah, it's interesting because we do not decide who people hire and we do not decide who people take positions for. We facilitate the transactions. We set up the phone calls, the
Yeah.
interviews, we do the offer letter, we run the background checks. The families get to verify the references. They get to see the background checks because we run them on their behalf. They meet the people first. But it's true. Sometimes it just doesn't go as planned, or it could just be something like somebody's hurt they broke their ankle. It could just be an accident or some kind of thing that happens. And if it's not a fit, then we immediately start working within the replacement period
Mm-hmm.
on a replacement search. But usually it is just not the right fit. Occasionally, like there'll be a surprise, something we don't know about the family, and the person doesn't want to continue. I mean, it
Yeah.
happens. It does happen. But when you're placing hundreds of people a year, a few are going to work out, aren't going to work out.
Got it. And what do you love most about your job? I mean, it's pretty amazing and fascinating. You've had this career for so long, and obviously you excel in it. But on a day-to-day basis, what makes you still passionate about getting up and working and doing what you do and helping these families?
Well, it is exciting to get to know a lot of different people and different personalities, and it's fun. And when you actually do succeed in helping families, or even if it's just an assistant with a very interesting career person, it's fun. It's exciting. You never ever get bored because you are constantly asking questions, constantly learning about people. All different types of people. The background of a nanny or someone that works with special needs children or adults or adolescents, and then someone that hires someone
Yeah.
like that. They all are different types of people, and they could range from 18 to in their 70s.
Yeah.
We've worked with clients in their 90s that need help in their home. You know what I mean? So just really getting to know so many different interesting people. And when you actually know that you helped a family or
Yeah.
you helped an individual and it has changed their life, and now they aren't like me today, like frenzied trying to get everything done, to just sit down for 5 minutes and they can like go, I know I can get home from work today, or I can go downstairs from work today, or I'm flying out of town today, and I don't have to worry about my kids because I know that my nanny is going to take maybe even better care of them than I would be able to do today.
Yeah.
Because like, I mean, that's the best thing. Imagine if you had to go away, which I'm sure you have because you have an amazing career, like, and you have to leave your child, and you don't have to, that one day when you actually can get on the plane and be
Yeah.
like, she's got this and I can focus on what
Yeah.
I need to do, and I go home and my child is good, the homework's done, everything's clean, and it's just a hug, and then back to life. You know what I mean? And then you don't have to just, because I mean, for me, the first time I traveled without my children, I was like, thank God for FaceTime and the iPad.
Yeah.
But
Mm-hmm.
now it's like I have childcare. I haven't traveled since we moved, but I know that if I have to travel, I know who to call, and I know that I can trust that person. And I
Yeah.
could go to Nashville and see our mutual friend, or I could go to
Hi,
Florida.
Tom. Yep.
I could go to Florida, and of course they'd want to come because of course everybody wants to go to Florida, but I don't have to worry. And I come home. I remember the first time that I actually had someone and I knew they got to school every day, and I came home and the house was clean, and I was
Ah,
like, the kids were happy and just sitting there chill. And I'm like, wow,
wow.
this is great.
Yeah, I know. I know. Unfortunately, I have my mom passed, but I have, and my sister doesn't help. And there's only one girl that she's my age, actually. She's 45. She's a mom of two, and I call her Mary Poppins, how ironically. Years ago when I found her, and but she doesn't live here anymore. She lives in Florida. So she's the only person I trust with my kids, and it's really hard because I don't have anyone that I trust. And I'm going to
How
be
many,
honest with
how
you.
many kids?
I'm sorry?
Kids do you have two?
Two, 7 and 9. So I really don't have anyone to help me with my kids. And, there's other websites out there where you try to find someone like on care.com, I'll just say it, and they're irresponsible, these young kids that you just don't know who you can get to trust. So I rarely
Yeah,
leave my children. And it's so hard to help me find someone. I know the process of finding someone, it's not easy.
I know.
Uh,
And everyone's calling off. Look, my ringer won't
that's
shut off
okay.
today. But
That's okay.
so the thing about that, which I had thought for the phone was once I can't shut off the app that's for the business that's running
That's
through the
okay.
phone.
Don't worry. Don't worry.
So okay, so like if so have you started looking? I know what I was gonna say because like it is hard. What you really want to avoid if you're using a website, I'll just give mom advice.
Mm-hmm.
For someone that's not using an agency that actually knows what they're doing and what to look for. You just have to be really careful in the sense of are they telling you the truth? Like,
Mm-hmm.
why are they applying to the part-time job? Why do they not need full-time? What are they doing the rest of the day? If it's another job, how do you know it's stable? Are you going to
Yeah.
have to confirm that? Like, if it's a college student and you just need after school, how long
Mm-hmm.
are they going to actually be able to do that schedule? Because are they going to have to take statistics or are they going to have to do an internship? So,
Yeah.
like, the thing about doing it online, if you're not aware of thinking ahead of what could be a problem, or if you forget
Mm-hmm.
about the summer, you know what I mean? Then oftentimes people will take jobs that they should not take, and then they'll wait until they find another job, and then
Mm-hmm.
they'll leave. And some people aren't checking references.
Yeah.
They don't feel they have to because they meet someone and they like them, but really it is about really asking a lot of questions and getting to know these candidates as much as the
Yeah.
clients, making sure that you've thought ahead. So
Got
we
it.
would bring out the attributes of the candidates, but we
Mm-hmm.
also want to look for something that maybe even they haven't thought of that's going to be a red flag.
Got it.
So
Yeah.
it's really like hard.
Well,
If
I'm not in the need of finding someone full time or part time, like with anything. It's just more like random days here and there, whenever it's so, which makes it hard for, anyone to commit because it's not a full time or a part time job that's steady.
right.
Yeah, because I live alone with the two kids and I do it all and it's not easy. But I would love to have a full
I don't
time.
know how you do it because you're not the only one. Like we had a call yesterday from a mom in Georgia, and she travels 5 overnights a month
Wow.
for work.
Okay.
And she's a single mom too. And it's like, all right, now I'm going to sit here and I'm going to try to help her figure this out. So
Mm-hmm.
part of our job is to be like, okay, you don't know when the trips are, but
Yeah.
there's this many. How many nights away at a time? Like for something like where someone doesn't know when they're going to need someone, some people will pay like a retainer
Mm-hmm.
and they'll wind up having that person be on call. It's just really a matter of like putting some thought into it and then
Yeah.
marketing the position and finding the right candidates and narrowing it down, and then you'll find your fit. There is someone out there that would be able to give you those hours. We would just want to make sure that there was a reason why they had this much flexibility and that it would actually, and then it would have to fit into their life magically.
Yeah.
And actually, I've placed several people like that.
Love it. I love it. Thank you. See, you never know. And I'm hoping, well, in my next life, I want a job. I want to travel more, right? I love traveling.
Right.
I
Me
want
too.
to get away from my kids. I want a nanny. I want all those things. My job doesn't require any travel at the moment. But, my old job I used to back in the day, but yeah, that's what I'm seeking. No, no offense. Yeah, I would love to have a job where I travel and I get away from the kids. Honestly, sometimes working full time away from the kids is so much better.
I know because if you're home and then they come and you're on a call and then they know
Yeah.
you're in your office and they can, if they're not, if for some reason they're not respectful of that for that day, or they have something they need, they might just barge right in.
Oh, well, like today, Jennifer, my son's home from school sick. So, yeah.
I couldn't get my 14-year-old out the door until like 11:30 this
Oh,
morning.
gosh. Mm-hmm.
I know. It was like, yeah,
It's
he said his
difficult.
stomach hurt, but it
Oh,
is hard. And if I had to go somewhere, if I had to go to work, I mean, he's 14 now, but yeah, I mean, especially when they're little. But
yeah.
sometimes it's great too if you want the kids to come with you on a trip, but you want to be able to do adult stuff as well or do something for work. Then you have a great nanny that you trust that likes to travel too, and the nanny will go with you.
Yeah. Well, that's what it's all about. Well, I'm looking forward to it. Jennifer, unfortunately, we are out of time. My goodness. Tell us how we could reach out to you.
So our number is 888-849-6090. And then our website is www.nannypoppinsagency.com. And you can find us on Instagram at Nanny Poppins Agency or on Facebook at Nanny Poppins Inc.
All right. And then also, if you are on the client side, right, if you can go to the website, there's even job postings on there. I was perusing before for house managers, live-in housekeepers, part-time nannies, and we're talking all over the United States. So.
Everywhere. We just placed a ton of people. So they do tend to all close at once.
Got it.
Like and you go in, it's busy or it's not. But yeah, so now it's going to fill back up. But I think we got our first client in Wyoming.
I just was going to say that I saw Wyoming on your list, and that looks new. Hold on.
That's in Hawaii.
I just saw that. Yeah, full-time nanny from December 15th to April 21st.
Bahamas, Puerto Rico, Ohio, Alabama. Yeah, it's good. It's fun.
Oh my goodness. Do you also provide, like nannies for like vacations as well?
Oh yeah, whatever you need. It's just really, our database is like about 200,000 candidates in it.
Oh my gosh.
And they're calling, off the hook because we've just become very well known and we've been around forever.
As you should be, but you've done so much hard work. It's amazing. And since what year was it? 95 you started?
Yeah, it was 1995.
Oh my goodness.
I was a kid.
God bless. Well, I'm so thankful and grateful you're here. Excited to have you back and excited. I know last time I missed you, you were sick, but I had on some of your staff members who did an amazing job sharing, the process of working at the agency and what goes into it and what they do. Always important to hear that and to know that you're working with well-trusted and respected people. Thank you again, Jennifer Bouchard.
We appreciate to have them, and you have a great day, Jill. Thanks so much.
You too. Thank you so much, and good luck with the new chef. I want to hear how it's all going. And I hope you're liking the food.
I'll let you know. Have a great day.
Thank you, you too. And to all of our listeners, stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.